Hey guys, Kevin here to bring you a brand new video where today we're going to be doing day 29 of Horror October. And the film that we're going to be talking about today is a brand new film that just came out this weekend called Last Night in Soho. This was arguably my most anticipated film of the year, along with Spider-Man No Way Home. I'd say it's a little bit more hyped up for me than even that. So yeah, I was really excited for this one because Edgar Wright, Anya Taylor-Joy, it's got cool visuals, and yeah. So yeah, this is a pretty solid film. I enjoyed it decently. So the whole thing is, this film is about like this girl who goes to college, and she tries to like fit in, but then it's not quite working out. So she moves to this other house, and then she sees these, I guess, visions of this girl who, from the 60s, who used to like live there, it seems, at least. And yeah, you have this like unique thing where it's like they're kind of like the same person, it seems like, and like she's like experiencing all that she's experiencing. And I guess this is like the biggest thing that bogged down the film for me, because it's like it's a little bit vague in defining like exactly what's going on here, because it's like she is like reliving her life basically, but is she like affected by it is the question, like physically, because like she gets like a hickey on her neck like the girl, Anya Taylor-Joy, did. But at the same time, it seems like she's like waking up from this dream. So it's like, is she dreaming, or is it like a real dream? Like I don't know. It's hard to really like flat out say like what's how it really all works. But with that, it's still a lot of fun. Just like seeing this cool 60s look. It looks really great, with this vibe we get. Good callbacks to, the 60s with like the visuals and everything. And yeah, it's just like fun to watch, that period of time on display. And, you have like Anya Taylor-Joy. She's, pretty delightful with just like how she displays herself. She's like this, charming character who you kind of like, grow an affinity for and like, because of like her backstory of, wanting to be someone who fits in. And, that can kind of change over time, and you may or may not root for her later, but at least early on, you kind of like find her like at least a little charming, and you're like, hey, I hope she does well. And you know but then you also have like these people who are like not good people, like people who are like committing sexual harassment, or at least coming close to doing that. A lot of these people, and you kind of like can you can kind of like take a side on this, but it turns into it takes a turn in a certain way where you could either be rooting for her, or you could be rooting against her character. So she kind of has like these two different sides that you can like choose to root for, based on like who she is as a character. But overall, she's pretty likable either way. But then you have this other character, Eloise, who is like, kind of going through her own struggle. I mean, like, both of these characters, Anya Taylor-Joy and, this girl, Eloise, Thomasin McKenzie, are both, like, going through their own stuff. They're both people that are struggling to fit in with society. One's a little bit more extroverted, and the other one's a little bit more introverted. But they're both having trouble, like, making it in the world, it seems like. And, you have this girl, Eloise, who's more like, closed in and reserved, and she's trying to, like, be more outgoing, and, she's having a hard time fitting at school, which is, like, a good relatable thing for me, because it's like, she goes to this, like, party, she's living at college, and, like, the people there are just, like, not vibing with her. Like, they're way too like obnoxious and loud, and she just wants to like stay inside and listen to music or whatever. So it's like you have that, and then you have this other girl who's like confident and like outgoing, but like she also like doesn't want to like be like harassed or have to like deal with all these types of people. So there's this like whole interesting dynamic here, and it's like this girl Eloise almost like wants to be like Anya Taylor-Joy, and in some ways, but she also sees like the pain that she suffers, and understands like that she went through like a hardship in that. But the thing about this is that it does take like a turn for like better or worse as far as like revealing like who the villain is, like who's really the bad character in this, and then it does allow you to like kind of like pick a side on that, which I liked. But some of it is like a little bit cliche with this once you figure out like what's really going on. And granted, like it is kind of like a good like surprise reveal, because like you're trying to like guess like who's from the '60s and like who that is in the present, because you could be like, well, that character lived in this place in that time, so maybe they're that character in the present time. So you can kind of like try to jump to those conclusions, and you may or may not be right. I was definitely surprised by one of them, and you might be surprised by a bunch of them. But yeah, I thought it was pretty well done overall. I mean, like just like the way it's like building up through the story. Like I wasn't necessarily like a huge fan of. Like I wasn't really like so like into it, but like I have a good like admiration for it and just like how it looks, and obviously like Anya Taylor-Joy, like she's one of my favorite actresses. I absolutely love her, and she's amazing in this, and it's a very high quality film, and it definitely has layers to it with these characters that I did appreciate. So yeah, I'm going to give this film a 9.1 out of 10. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like if you have, and I'll see you guys in the next one.